Sweet. Hi guys. I'm Riley. I'm one of the Wilmington Cosplay United admins. My Instagram username is RevelRiley, so check me out. I've only been cosplaying for a couple of years, but definitely a fun hobby. But I'm going to be taking you guys through kind of the contacts that I use, how to take care of them, and then how to take them in and out. So fair warning, I will be touching my eyeball and getting close to the camera, so if you don't love that, I'll do a little summary written out at the end when I post the video, so you can skip to the parts that you need to. I guess just to start off, I don't have a lot of experience using different brands or online companies for getting contacts. I always get mine at UniqueSo. They're pretty big in my contacts variety, but they carry some prescription contacts, which I like to use at cons so that I can see a little bit, but my prescription's really low, so not all the brands or websites will carry them. So you gotta kind of gauge different websites, see if they got your style, see if they got the prescription, and naturally like where they might ship or details. And just as something to consider when getting contacts, some of the sites can take quite a while for them to ship, so especially UniqueSos coming from a different country. And if you are planning on doing cosplay, either for a con or just an event with a specific date, keep that in mind and order your contacts kind of early in advance, because especially with shipping with COVID-19, it might take a little bit extra longer. But also a friendly reminder, you don't need contacts to sell your cosplay. It's just a nice little sprinkle on top, just like a nice wig. So don't feel obligated if you can't afford the contacts. But we shall start. I tend to put in contacts with a bare face, so I don't have my makeup on, or at least just like the foundation, because my eyes water a lot and it can totally mess up your all your work. So highly recommend waiting, especially if you're doing like mascara or close lid eyeliner, because that'll run into the eye and it can get on the contact and irritate your eyes. Next up, make sure you wash your hands. Cleanliness is super important with contacts because they're going in your eye and most likely for an extended amount of time. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking care of them and washing your hands when you put them in. I'm going to start out with taking you through the different sizes of contacts, just different elements, and at the end I'll show you general care tips, how to make them last a little longer and general care. So to start off, we have standard contacts. So these ones are just red ones. I don't know if you can see them, but so you can kind of see that the pupil size is kind of big. It's going to allow you to see full range. So as your pupil dilates, you can have full light vision. So that's going to be your standard contact. It's also going to be just enough to cover the iris, not the full eye itself. Something else to keep in mind, this is a zombie contact, so it has a smaller pupil. So even if your eyes dilate, it's only going to show up as a pin-sized. So you can see that the contact eye is a little smaller, and it's not it's very noticeable when you're wearing them. I don't know if you can really see that, but it'll make a big difference if you're in dark, because you will be able to see the white around your eye when you're wearing them. So just keep that in mind as you are choosing which contact to wear. Light sensitivity will differ. Same with the like whiteout contacts. Those have a mesh over the front, so you ultimately can't see much. You can see general figures, general light. You cannot see detail because there's a literal mesh over the pupil of your eye. So in addition to this white one, general care instruction, this one is ripped. This is so difficult. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's ripped. No, you can't. Doop, 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 doop. It's a rip in it.
Yep, I can see the rip.
Never put that in your eye. It should instantly be thrown out because even if it feels okay in your eye, you're making little lesions in your eyeball, and those can get infected, get gross. General bad stuff for your eyeball. But as otherwise, let's put some in. So I'm going to put on the red ones. Again, let's wash my hands. Let's do practice. Okie dokie. So a key to this is keeping your hands dry because the contact is going to want to stick to whatever's wet. So I normally pull it out with the other hand and then place it on the tip of my middle finger. So it's just sitting on the edge. I know some people prefer to put a drop of contact solution on the top. It kind of makes it float around my eye a little bit, so I just put it in dry. It's definitely gonna be wet from the solution, but it should be good enough to stick to your eyeball. And then what I do, I pull this part down with my same hand as my contact, lift up the other eye or eyelid, and slide it in. Da-da-da. So pull down, lift up the eyelid, stick it onto the lens. If you need to, you can use your other hand to kind of like make it stick. And then I lift up my eyelid and like put it over the contact so it doesn't pop out. So that generally works for me. Another option is sometimes contact brands will send you cases and stuff. So I have like this little Hello Kitty one, and it has these little tools in it. I prefer to just use my fingers, but one of the tools is a little suction cup. So you can put the contact on the end, and if you don't want to touch your eyeball, you can just use it to put the contact in, and vice versa, use these little tweezer things to pull it out. So if you don't like touching your eye, there are options, and these things are like maybe like $3 whenever you order contacts. So easy little addition if you are conscious about that. But once they're in, normally I just give it a minute so your eyes can acclimate, and if there's any sort of irritation or if it's uncomfortable, don't rub your eyes, take it out, put it in your palm, put a little contact solution in there, and just like rub it around and pat it. So clean it off, try to get any debris off of it, and try it again. So again, because you don't want to rub it around because then you can make little lesions on your eye and ultimately make it more uncomfortable. And once it's in, it can sometimes feel a little dry, so either you can use little eye drops to regularly apply them throughout the day, or when you first put them in to make them more comfortable, or you can use contact solution. You don't have to get the drops. Whatever you have, just do not use tap water on contacts, ever. And so from there, once it is in, let's just take it out. So I ultimately do the same thing, pull down, pull up, and then I'm gonna pinch with just the squishy parts of my hand. So I'm gonna like pinch my eyeball and pull it out. So let's see if you can, blah, 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 blah. Can you see that? So, simple scoop. If you get frustrated, it's okay. If you don't like approaching your pupil directly, you can slide the contact over to the side, to the whites, and then pull it out from there. So just know that there's not one right way to do it, but there's ways to work around any issues you have with touching your eyes. So from there, I use the little cases that they normally come with. Normally, if you order a pair of contacts, especially from UniqueSo, they will send you a free contact case with it. So I always keep these. You fill them up pretty much to the top with your contact solution. Any brand, it just doesn't really matter as long as it's contact solution. And make sure it's submerged, and you screw on the top, and they're good. They're waterproof. you just want to make sure they're always submerged and they don't get dry. And moving on, so another type of contact is a sclera lens. So that's going to be one that's not on your pupil only, it's going to be on the whole white of your eye. These bad boys are a little difficult sometimes, and I have only recently started wearing them sometimes, so I'm still a newbie, so this might take a minute. The first time I put these on, so it comes in like this bad boy, and it's floating at the bottom. My eyes like freaked out because I was super sensitive to light, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to wear these very expensive contacts that I just bought. But what I did, you stick them in. If you're having issues with light sensitivity, close your eyes, let your eyes acclimate, and then slowly introduce yourself to light. It might take a couple of minutes, but worth it for the cool look, maybe. But so they're gonna come in something like this. They do have specific, like larger cases for sclera lenses, just because they're like a little bigger. But I have been using the same just case it came in because it has a little rubber stopper for the top. So it's going to be floating in solution. Pour it out. This bad boy is large. So compare sizes. Here's a reggae one. Here's a sclera lens. You'll also notice that this is one of the pinpoint ones where it has a small pupil size. So another thing to keep in mind, and just another level of why sclera lenses can be difficult, more difficult sometimes. I dropped this, so I'm going to clean it. So let's go through that. So again, on washed hands, I stick it in my palm and I just pour solution on it and I just rub it around. Just clean it off, do some patting. Make sure you get any debris off of it because these ones are a little bit more difficult to flush out debris that are underneath because they are covering your full eye. So whereas little ones, you can kind of blink a couple of times and sometimes it'll flush it out, but these bad boys are not quite as easy. All right, I'm going to attempt to do this one. It's a little difficult, but we're going to try it. I have found, same thing, no solution on it. I put it in dry. This one's a little bit more uncomfortable. Just be aware scleras aren't fun to put in. What I like to do, or what I found that works, is you slide it under the top eyelid, and then you plop the bottom over it. So let me see if I can do this. There's some junk on this one. Let me clean it off sooner. Okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I have a little bit of an issue. Okie dokie. Oh my god. I have a very small counter space, so this is more challenging than I anticipated. All right, so I'm gonna grab it like this and like pinch it. And then, oh, you can't see me? Okay. So you have to get really on your eyeballs. But you slide it under the top lid and then you pull the bottom lid to like catch it. And voila, you have a sclera lens on. Now, sclera lenses do not come in prescriptions because they are full sclera. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you want to wear lenses for a costume, if you need prescription, have that in mind when you're walking around a con. So once these bad boys are in, let your eyes acclimate. My eyes is watering like crazy because this is a foreign object. And this or contact solution is going to be your best friend for sclera lenses. All right. This bad boy is getting a little uncomfortable, so I'm going to take him out now. You're going to do it the same way. You're going to use the pads of your finger, pull down your lid, pinch it out. And that's it. You can clean them afterwards, but if they're going to soak in contact solution, you don't have to be too worried about it as long as it's not dirty. If it's only touched your eye and your clean hands, you should be fine. So let's add some solution to this bad boy. Always better to add more than less, just to make sure the contact is fully submerged. And I just stick it back in. And that is it. Oil lenses take a lot of practice to get in. So if you can't get it the first time, or any contacts, can't get it the first time, that's fine. You'll figure it out. Just practice. Same with wearing them. So now that we have taken them out, I've showed you what they look like. You know how to get them in and out, where to store them. Things to keep in mind again. Make sure you are throwing away ones that are ripped. The contacts that come, all right, I don't have any that are not opened, but they'll come in little cases like this, normal contacts, and you just peel open. They can last for multiple years if unopened. So if you have a pair, you decide not to do the costume anymore, hold on to them. They're expensive. They'll last. They're in a very sterile environment here, so keep them for however long. Generally, after you have opened them, they'll keep for about a year. So you want to, within that year, you want to make sure that you change out the solution maybe every couple months, just to make sure it's fresh, make sure it's clean, and to make sure they haven't dried out, because sometimes you'll end up with a little dry contact at the bottom. Don't try to rehydrate it. Throw it away, because it's going to get crusty, it's going to rip, and it's just better to not test that. So throw away dry ones, throw away ripped ones, make sure you're changing out the solution, and making sure they're clean throughout the year. Sometimes, based on how well you take care of them, you can keep them for a little longer. If you put it in your eye, it doesn't feel good, you can't make it feel comfortable, throw them out, because they probably started to degrade. Which is why you can only keep contacts for about a year, because they start to dissolve and they're not meant to last forever. So keep that in mind. Let's see. I tend to max wear mine, and it's recommended not to wear them more for 8 hours at a time. By 6 hours, my eyes are tired. It physically makes my face tired to have them in. So keep that in mind. The look is great, but it's not worth it to keep them in for longer than you're comfortable with. You don't want to do permanent damage to your eyes. So along with that, you don't want to sleep in them. Same thing, it can dry out on your eyelid, which can cause a lot of problems. So if you're ever going to take a nap or need a moment of rest, just take them out. Put them away for an hour or two while you're eating or hanging out in the hotel room. Pop them back in. Don't stress your eyes out. You see with them, they're important. And with that, I think that's about it. Do you guys have any questions?
I have a question. Where should you store your lenses when you're not using them? Do you keep them away from light, or do you put them just in a drawer or just on the countertop?
I don't know if they are light sensitive at all. I can imagine that UV light is going to do ultimate damage to them. So I keep them in my sink. I have a drawer specifically for contacts and such. So I keep them in a closed, dark drawer. I think as long as you keep them someplace cool so they don't get too warm, they don't grow anything, you should be good. I think they can ultimately be stored anywhere. But I don't use mine a lot, so I kind of keep them out of the way.
Mm-hmm. That seems like a good place. Well, I'm super excited to try some. I ordered goldish ones, and I ordered the Sailor Moon edition ones because they've got like little like sparkles and circles.
Oh, so fun! Oh my god, some of my favorite ones are. That's another thing. Like, you're gonna figure out what style looks best because sometimes they make your eyes look a little bigger. So their size is in between like the normal size contact that I put in and the sclera. So it makes your eyes look bigger if you make the pupil a little bigger. And like, I love these guys because they have like an anime look to them because they're like multicolored
Yeah.
little specs. Dude, contacts are fun.
I can't wait. Yeah, these are the ones that I just ordered. And
Is this gonna be your first pair of contacts?
it's not my first. I had red ones that they lasted actually a lot longer than a year, but like it was they died.
I've been keeping these blue ones alive for like a year and a half, so they can definitely last.
Yep. Can you hold on?
They're so cute. Look at the little sparkles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
Oh
I
my
also
god.
got these ones.
Lift them up a little bit. Oh, that's like a really pretty gold.
Mhm.
Oh,
They
okay.
they were all pretty affordable too. I think I spent on both of them, including shipping, $51.
Solid. Very solid. Yeah, definitely. You want to don't go cheap with contacts because there are plenty of websites out there that do not have the best quality. I found that like I would trust other friends you know who have like contact or use contacts, or a lot of cosplayers have what is that, like referral codes or something. I feel like those are fair, safe. If they use the contacts regularly, I think it's fair to say they're safe for the most part. Look at reviews, all that good stuff. Um, but that's so fun. That's a good price. And yeah, there's a lot of websites that'll do some crazy good deals. And you're like, I was just gonna buy one pair, but I guess I'm gonna get three
Maybe
for
five?
$5. It definitely know how you. But if you're gonna pay for shipping, you might as well.
Mhm.
You might-
Well, thank you so much for telling us about contact lenses. You make putting them in and taking them out look so easy. Uh,
Helps that I've worn normal contacts for a while, so
mhm.
like, it just makes perfect and a lot of confidence. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited.
well, we are going to have this posted on the page, and if you are watching the recording afterwards, share some pictures of your lenses as you play with them. We're excited to see what kind of contact lenses you decide to get and how you want to use them.
Yeah, and I'm always feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'm not a pro, but there's a lot of resources out there, and I'm one of them. So feel free.
All right. Well, have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Bye, guys.